Okay, I'm going to give you a simple explanation about losing weight and burning body fat. I have to give Drew credit for this because he gave me this explanation. I just needed a way to explain to my clients what we were doing, why we were doing it, and what is happening whenever we start to switch over their food habits and make them more balanced for your hormones. There's so many words thrown around out there: hormones, blood sugar, insulin, pancreas. No one really knows what the heck is going on or why they're doing it. So here is a very simple explanation about what is happening in your body at all times. Pac-Man. Everyone remembers Pac-Man from the arcade games. And what does Pac-Man do? He goes around and just eats things all day long. Well, you have a little Pac-Man inside of your body eating away all day long at things going on inside there. It depends on what you give it and what you don't give it. So most of us, unless you have trained yourself not to do this, give our bodies insulin all day long. Our pancreas will release insulin when we eat things that spike our blood sugars. This is a lot of things, even things that you think are healthy. So definitely breads, pastas, some rice, candy, sweets, pastries, everything you can think of. All day long, typically we are giving our bodies some sort of way to release insulin. And so Pac-Man loves insulin because what is insulin? Insulin is energy. And so Pac-Man loves whenever you flood your body with insulin because he will work overtime and overdrive to eat the insulin and get this energy that he wants so bad. Well, conversely, at the same time, he will also crash from insulin. So when insulin gets present in your body, Pac-Man works overtime super hard to eat away at this insulin. Mrs. Pac-Man, and I don't have a little thing for her, I should have made one, but Mrs. Pac-Man comes over to Mr. Pac-Man and says, look at all this body fat you could actually be eating, surviving off of, getting steady, smooth energy from, instead of this insulin that is just coming and going and it's wearing you out. Well, Pac-Man is like, no, I think I'm just gonna stick to the insulin because it's really good. It's really addicting. I love the energy from it, the high I get. I do crash, but it's all right because I feel really good at the moment when I'm eating the insulin. So what happens when we stop flooding our body with insulin? All of these bad things that we are eating consistently all day long on a regular basis. Well, insulin starts to become not as present in the body, but Pac-Man has to have energy to survive, something to eat off of. So he does slowly start to eat away at the fat. Well, Pac-Man actually decides and learns that he loves eating the fat. Not only does it give him a steady, smooth energy, but he doesn't get the high and the low and the crashes all the time. He can just eat the fat whenever he chooses to, and he feels great all day long. So Pac-Man can be burning your body fat all day long if you just give him the opportunity to. If you take away all the insulin that you give your body every single meal all day long, he no longer wants to look for the insulin to burn off as energy. So once Pac-Man starts to kind of rev up this good energy that he is getting, your metabolic rate is getting higher, your metabolism is getting faster because he's just constantly eating away at the fat and not just being high and low and crashing from just the insulin. But what will happen is whenever you do give your body insulin, which at some point we will because it's almost impossible not to, Pac-Man will be aware of the insulin that is present and he will start to work overtime once again to eat away at the insulin. Well, as soon as the insulin is gone, what happens is there is a little bit of time left over where he still is working overtime to burn off the fat. So with my clients, we have a mind meal every 5 days. What typically happens after a mind meal is at first you may see a slight spike in your weight the day after, but after a while you'll actually start to notice that you will lose weight after having the mind meal the next day, because what your little Pac-Man did in your body is that it worked overtime when we gave it insulin and we fed it carbs, starchy carbs, anything that raises your blood sugar. And then once that was gone, he started to eat away at the fat more rapidly. So you actually burn more fat. And this explanation is why you should be training your little Pac-Man and your body to want to utilize fat as energy, or being fat adapted. And that is the goal that I try to get all of my clients to do, instead of constantly giving your body insulin every single meal, where your little Pac-Man will just go high, low, crash all day long, have no steady, smooth energy, and you won't ever train your body to burn fat as energy so you can lose weight easier, stay leaner. And the goal is to get Pac-Man to love fat. So we strip away as much insulin as possible all day long, and we find those little things that can spike your blood sugar, and we just try to get your little Pac-Man slowly and steadily, day by day, week by week, to burn fat as energy.